Hello, how are you? This is JilliBling, and I have project number 2 using Dainty Delight bundle. So, what do you think? Every time I see this card, I know it's kind of my colors, but I love it. I love the simplicity of it, the daintiness of it. It's feminine, a little bit of vellum, sparkly gems. The ribbon. I love sheer ribbon. So, today's project. Let's do it! Dainty Delight, mostly focusing on this, and celebrate you, thinking birthday. Dainty Delight dies, and also for this frame florets dies, which a stamp set, a bundle, I knew I liked it because I like the flowers in it. But the frame, I'm thinking, that's kind of vintagey. But I keep using it over and over, and every time I use it, I love it. So, yes, who knew? Florets, my kind of set. Okay, so here's the dies. Blending brushes, ribbon. Let me just make the double bow. And if anyone is like, how do you make those double bows? Let me know. Or scroll way back in the videos. Because right when COVID hit, I decided to try doing YouTube. I know nothing about technology, but I thought that's my goal. Because I couldn't be out doing classes. And as you could probably tell, it's working out pretty good. Just wish there was... Because you know some people, they get paid. And I know what people say, there's too many commercials. It's like, well, I guess it's their airtime. Anyhow, just to share. Okay, so there's a double bow. If it comes off my finger, otherwise my finger goes with it. Double bow. Using sheer ribbon Pool Party. And the bling. Okay, check this out. The bling. You're like, wait a minute. You have different color bling. So, because this is kind of pool party themed, I wanted pool party. Pool Party is a really light color. You couldn't see it at all. So I thought, what is a deeper hue of Pool Party? Not navy. That's more of the, the blue cooler tones. I needed kind of a yellow. So I went with succulent, dark, soft succulent, and just put a little bit of color over your bling. So any color blend you have, you can change the color of your bling. It's really pretty if you do, I have it here, I'll show you, like black or navy blue. And you're thinking, that's really dark. But when you put them on a card, oh, it's so beautiful. I wonder... That might be, okay, back up here a little bit. Oh, another thought too. Okay, so when you use a blend, because it's alcohol based, because the rhinestone has a little, a little bit of glue underneath it, the alcohol can dissolve the adhesive. So try not to get too far down underneath it. So that's one thing. And I was going to show you what this looks like. This is black dark. Wait till you see how pretty this is. You're like, yeah, it's still sparkly. And I should show you navy too. I'll hold this up close in just a minute. Or what about, and you know what? Starry Sky. So this is project number 2 out of 5 using Dainty Delight. And one of the next projects is going to use Starry Sky. So maybe have to do some of this. Maybe it needs some blue bling. Okay, I'm going to hold these up close. Can you see how pretty they are? Yeah. I mean, it's still sparkly, even though I put black over the top. Okay, back on track. So, card base. This is white, thick cardstock. I have so many things lined up for today. This morning's been busy. Then I had to wait till he left to do the video because he does boy noises. Vellum, 2 pieces of white, one for the top, one for the inside. Oh, maybe I should have done some blending brush in here. Oh, all these things. Okay, let's just start with this. This just plain white paper is for the die. So today I was kind of challenged. Stampin' Up, they said, hey, you want to talk about things? I'm like, yeah. So I signed up for their little mentorship. And the lady pretty much said, you need to go to your dentist office and your doctor's office and offer free or for fee little classes just to build your base. Because if you have more people, then you could get sales. And in my head, it's like, I'm not a sales girl. I'm not good with that. But she goes, okay, I'll check with you in 2 weeks. And that was right when Tony and I got sick. So I kind of canceled, which isn't fair. But I gave her plenty of warning. I didn't do any of my little chores. Anyhow, so I did think about it. And I have a group, maybe, in Cottage Grove. I'm going to run that through. And today is the first day, and I get all nervous. It's not that I don't know what I'm doing, but I just get all nervous. So here is, you can't see this, because everything is white. Okay, there's the oval, so I'm all nervous about that. And then, it first was just a few people. I can handle that. And now she's like, oh, there's going to be 3 or 4 more, which is good, but in my head, I'm being scared. We'll see how it goes. And then Amy's order came in. I need to run over by Amy's house. Okay, so to color these in, because see how delicate, how dainty this is? It's hard to color with the blends on something this dainty. So I'm finding my blender pen, which comes in a pack of 3, works good. So I'm going to use Garden Green, and I'll hold this up close here in just a minute. Oh, you know what, while I'm thinking of it, and before I have this out, I should do the inside of the card, so I could color them all at once. And you know, as I'm thinking about this and opening my brand new memento, I probably should have used StazOn, because this is water-based. Memento is more for blends. I didn't push hard enough there. Better, since I have it out, I'm going to stamp the Celebrate You. And not to mention whoopses, this one I stamped crooked, so I turned my oval. So I don't know if you could see, there's a big old gap there and an overage there. Therefore, this time I'm going to be straight. I could have flipped it over, but I think with the frame on it, maybe. I think that looks good. So having the frame on it helps. Okay, done stamping. Just like that. Okay, so let's do a little bit of the coloring on three bits. Maybe I should have had some of these done first. Brand new blender pen. Blender pens, you can use one pen for every color, any color. You can use just one of them, even though it comes in a 3-pack. Okay, now hold this up close, but I'm purposely having some that are a little bit darker So when I dip right into the ink, they're dark. And then other ones, as the ink lightens on the blender pen, I'm letting some of the leaves be light on purpose. Like that one is really light. A little bit of color. The thing about coloring with the blends is you don't get streaks. And I think that's one reason that a lot of people, me too, like the blends. So when coloring with a blender pen or aqua painter, you get streaks. But it has a very different look. Okay, when I do the big one, I'll hold it up close. And I want some of them to be dark just because this card is kind of faint and delicate. And if there weren't the flowers on it that were just shining so bright and brilliant, it would be a whole big study in pastels. So I wanted them a little bit bright. First I was going to do the leaves in mint. And I'm like, that's just going to be a wash in pastels. Then I thought, what about spruce? I knew I wanted to do the blending brush in Pool Party because I have that Pool Party sheer ribbon, which I love. I wanted to use that. I think it's perfect for this card. Or any of the in color with that sheer center. Those would be nice too. Okay. So a little bit more color, and we'll come back to this to color the flowers. Okay, so not that it's that tricky. And see how it's getting lighter and lighter. That one's maybe too light. Because it's so small, it's kind of just a little touch of color and that's it. When I did the first card, the sample, I put it all together and then I realized, oh, I didn't do one of the leaves. Oh, which remind me, remember like 2 cards ago, the gnomes? And there was one sleeve I didn't color in seafoam. I don't know that I ever did that. I had to find that. Do you ever do that? Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. And then you don't. Okay, so that's it for garden green. So with a blending pen, just get the pigment out of the tip. And the tip will get stained, which is just natural. After you use it for a lot of different colors or a while, the tip is like gray, but it still gives you just the one color you want. Okay, so for the flowers, let me show you something. You're gonna roll your eyes. Look at that. Oh, this is for the blending brush. But you're like, there's no 4 colors on there. So on the sample, this one, the flower center, I did it with espresso. But I think it's too dark. So this time I want to do it with mango. So that means 3 colors on one little tiny, like little dust bit of a flower. Yeah, but it looks good. So start with Flirty. It's the lightest. And are you in your head? Are you saying, really? Are there really 3 colors on there? See the light pink? Then see how it's turning a little orange, and then there's just little touches of the poppy. And I know it's excessive, but it looks good. Flirty Flamingo. So pick up some color, give it a test, and then just put some color on each of the little flowers. And I purposely want this to be a bit light because I'll put the darker colors, the darker hues, more toward the center of the flower using the other colors. But if I did this like full-on flirty flamingo, it'd be very vivid and very bright. But I purposely want the washed out look, just like that. And yeah, some will be darker, others will be heavier in color. But you know we're artists. Yeah. Purposely getting it right out to the edges though of the flower image. See, this is a good way to clean up your ink pad. Do you end up with these like, how does ink get outside of that? Maybe when I'm tapping it. I don't know. And when I do the darker colors, I'll hold it up close. Watercoloring. So yeah, I should have used StazOn. One reason I love the smell of StazOn. It's like people are either a yes or a no to the smell of StazOn. I'm a yes. But Memento, it's not smearing. Or if it is, it's very little, and I can't tell. So whatever you have should be fine. If you have problems, pull out your StazOn. I like using StazOn with the red rubber stamps, not so much polymer. To me, it doesn't seem to work very good. Okay, done with Flirty Flamingo. Got pink flowers. Yep. Next is Calypso Coral. So this I'm just going to make the center go from Flirty Flamingo to a hint of kind of watered down coral orange hue to the center of each flower. And then finally the Poppy Parade will be just a dot here or there. I'll show you. I wonder if that, my flower center, the mango, I wonder if I'm going to be able to make that work. I think there's only 2 flowers that need a center. Dot, dot, dot. And it's nice that when the ink dries, it dries lighter than when you first apply it. Sometimes when Tony comes home, he goes, "Has it been this quiet in the house all day?" I'm like, "Yes. I like the quiet. I like it. It's quiet." Okay, just a little bit of Poppy Parade. So Poppy Parade, brand new stamp pad, is going to be that dark. You're like, "What are you doing?" I'll show you. Okay, make sure you could see. Just way down at the bottom, just a little bit of color. You could probably see it better on this one. Oh, that was too much. but it makes the flower center look good. These flowers are so cute. Okay, I need to smooth that one out a little. I have a lot of ink on here. Okay, 3 colors. Yeah, it's excessive, but you could see all the colors in there. It looks good. So, Emma is coming tomorrow. She's coming because it's time for fitting the bridesmaids. Is that exciting? She's going to be wearing a pantsuit. Because if you know Emma, she says, I'm not wearing no dress. And I'm like, Evan, Michaela, you need to tell her she has to wear a dress. It's like, no. So she's wearing a flowing pantsuit that pretty much looks like a dress. Okay, let's see how Mango. Because I did espresso. I'll hold them up side by side, see what you think. Mango is going to look like mango. I like mangoes. Ooh, that stands out. I don't know that I want it that bright, but ooh. This one just looks, the mango just looks more spring fresh. That's a little bit softer. I don't know. Mango. Do you like mangoes? I like mangoes. When the kids were little, they used to hold it up to me. Here, open this thing up. Okay, we're done with coloring. Probably took too long, but that's okay. It's kind of fun. Let's do the vellum pieces. Vellum is 2 of these. And if you cut off the ends, it's fine, because it always gets tucked in so far you never see the stems anyhow. And then 2 of this little sprig. See how I cut off the end? But it's okay. So 4 of that leaf and 2 of the bigger thing. How about blending brush in Pool Party? There. I still think maybe on here. And the front of the card. Pool Party. Blending brush. Okay, so when you do it on here, if you're going in circles, if you're like me, you end up with kind of a naked spot. So after you start in the center, work your way out to the edge. The less ink that's on your blending brush, the softer the blending will be. See how that's nice and soft? You're like, you're kind of going off the edge there, but from experience, I could tell you something about this. That frame, that oval frame, it takes up a lot of space. Oh, I see a big old gap right there. So, this is what I'm talking about. When you put this right here, and if that was all filled in, you're like, I don't see much of the blending brush. Maybe over here, maybe here, but I think it needs more. So, if you're making this card, kind of go crazy with the blending brush. And that will just make the frame stand out more because there's a little differentiation between the Pool Party and the white frame. While there's not so much ink on here, I'm going to kind of stretch out into the corners just a little bit because I want it to be soft. Okay, I keep thinking about this one. Maybe while it's still soft. Does it go in the center? No. Maybe right here. Eh. guess you could see it. Okay. No blending brush. A little bit. I like the a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. Just a hint. And it's funny, in different lights, when I'm looking at them now, it's like, yeah, I got some on there. But when I was making it, it's like, oh, I don't know. And then also on your little oval. Put right in here. I didn't turn my phone off. So this morning, Tony had arborist come over. He's like, they need to prune the orchard. Keep in mind, the orchard it's growing every year, as in size, as in Tony getting more stuff. But there's 6 trees out there. So they were supposed to be here at 9. And he came home from the morning bus run and made us breakfast. And we're sitting in our recliners eating breakfast. And guess who comes walking across the porch? The arborist people. At 8:30. Okay, there. I like the placement. And I'm doing this because when I did the other one, I had to pull it up. I didn't have it centered, and it drove me crazy. So, you can see, I got it right in place. Okay, it's going to dry a little bit. Let's see, good. And then I'll come back and I'll finish gluing it. So, when you're gluing on something that you watercolored or blending brush, if you get glue on here, I'm trying to think of where I can show you. This is what I can show you. This is a good thing of what not to do. Because the blending brush, the ink, is water-based, you could kind of mess up your efforts. Okay, you can see that's blending brushed. So say you're putting your oval on, and you put glue here and here and here. Okay. Or just if you have glue in the wrong place, then you go to wipe it. I don't know if this is going to show you. It changes the smoothness of the blending brush. Maybe I didn't let it sit on there long enough. But it makes the ink pool to the edges of the side of where you had the glue. And it just doesn't look good. That came out just fine. Wouldn't you know it? That's pretty well stuck. So, just be careful when you're attaching your frame, or ever gluing anything to something that's been blending brushed, or sponged, or colored. One time I colored something, I'm not sure what it was, kind of like brown, maybe it was an animal, and then I attached something, and it didn't look good, so I pulled it up. I was like, ooh, that looks bad. It's going to go right back to where I didn't want it. Just because it left a mess. Okay, that's good enough. Got that thing bent up, huh? And a lot of it's going to be covered by the pretty flowers, the dainty flowers. Okay, so this is going to go on with dimensionals. Oh, we get to put on our pretty rhinestones. Aren't those pretty? I'm supposed to be leaving in 5 minutes. Oops. I can't be late to a new class. That'd be terrible. Go faster. Faster. Pool party layer. Inside layer. It's a little on the simple side. Celebrate You goes on with dimensionals. Okay, right in the middle, especially because I did it straight this time. Woot woot. Okay, and then these I'm going to put on one here. So these two get mini dimensionals. And the rest of it's going to be floating until I tuck in the vellum leaves and sprigs. Thinking the bow can go here. Then this one, aren't those just beautiful? So these two get many dimensionals. Just like that. And I'm thinking the bow is going to cover it up, this connection point. Okay, so these little bouquets are kind of floating, but that lets me put my vellum pretty daintiness in place. It's wrapped right around the edge. Look how perfectly that fits. Those Stampin' Up! Designers are just amazing. Oh, this is the one where I chopped it off, but that's okay. I wonder if I could put it over here. Nope. Tuck it down into there. Okay, and then these leaves, they go in different directions. Isn't that just pretty? It's just so delicate. It's so dainty. So this one, I have the big one, a little bit more through there. This time, knowing that the bow is going to cover a lot, I'm going to put it right like that. Then these flowers can just get a bit of glue. Hold them in place. With all these layers of adhesive and dimensionals and glue, they'll be fine. Okay, then that might stick out below the bow. Don't want that. Okay, the bow. Here's the bow. That I'll put on with glue dot right there. Then, you know how I like to hold it in place with liquid glue. Isn't that pretty? A little different. Okay, the rhinestones. What color is this? Dark, soft, succulent, but it works. So I'm going to put on 5 of them. I don't know. Isn't that pretty? I hope this is pretty. I hope you could see how pretty it is there as it is in person. That's it for today. Okay, got 3 more using Dainty Delight. Okay, have a great day. Bye.